On February 2nd, 2025, Silent Rob, the once cult icon YouTuber behind Face Destroyers Inc., deleted his channel. No goodbye video, no explanation on YouTube, just a string of emotional, chaotic posts on Facebook and nearly 2 decades of content wiped from the internet overnight. This wasn't just a rage quit. This was a meltdown months in the making. A perfect storm of addiction, burnout, creative frustration, and a fan base that felt both betrayed and abandoned. The man who once mocked the downfall of other YouTubers now found himself spiraling in full view of the few fans who still stuck around and lashing out at them in the process. From locking his content behind an $8 paywall to admitting to an attempted suicide just 2 days after vanishing from YouTube, this isn't just the story of a channel going offline. It's the unraveling of a creator, caught between the need to evolve and the ghosts of his past. If you haven't seen my last video, Silent Rob vs. YouTube, the creator who walked away, I'd recommend watching that first to get caught up. But if you're ready to jump in, this is what happened next. On February 6th, 4 days after the deletion of the channel, Rob's wife Ani posted on Face Destroyers United, Rob's longtime fan page where followers discussed gaming, online drama, and everything in between. She announced the group would be shut down. Rob, she said, had a doctor's appointment and his blood pressure was dangerously high. For the sake of his health, the decision was made to delete his YouTube channel, deactivate his Facebook account, and bring an end to the Face Destroyers page altogether. Shortly after that post, the Facebook group was officially paused. Rob's Facebook account disappeared soon after, just as Ani had stated. In the days that followed, fans began to notice that re-uploaders of Rob's videos were suddenly getting hit. Channels that had archived his content for years were now facing takedowns. The speculation was that Rob, or someone acting on his behalf, was reporting these uploads for copyright, likely to prevent others from having control over his legacy content. It was as if, with the death of his own channel, Rob didn't want anyone else to hold the torch. One of the first and most notable targets was Sean D1, a longtime re-uploader who hosted a treasure trove of Rob's classic content from the 2007-2010 era. His channel was terminated. This hit especially hard for the community as Sean D1's uploads had become part of the Rob lore. But despite years of fans doing the heavy lifting to preserve his work, Rob himself never took steps to archive his content, and had even expressed his dislike of channels like Sean D1's, claiming they were profiting from his legacy without permission. Around the same time, Minute World, the most prominent donator and longtime supporter of Rob's channel, began uploading some of Rob's older videos as well. But, like others, his channel was flagged and eventually terminated. On February 8th, Minute World returned with a new channel and uploaded a video stating that he still had the full archive, but that he would only release it once Rob had calmed down. Meanwhile, another fan-run highlights channel, Silent Rob Fragments, reacted by preemptively privatizing all of its content out of fear of being next. Eventually, Rob did give that channel permission to remain up, stating sometime in March that he planned to re-upload a lot of his old content himself, this time on his far more successful TikTok. But by that point, the damage to Rob's legacy and trust within his fanbase had already been done. By this time, fans were only just beginning to piece together the extent of what was happening behind the scenes. And for many, it marked a breaking point. Public denouncements of Rob's behavior began to spread across YouTube and social media.
So, I made a video saying I would no longer support Silent Rob, and I stand by that. Just to know that he really didn't care about his fans, and to know that we really didn't matter to him as fans if we didn't give him money, really just cemented the fact that the YouTuber I used to love is gone.
Rob, you gotta do better, man. You can't shit on your fans just because they won't give you $8 a month, or they don't like your music, or they think you're being a fucking asshole, because you are being a fucking asshole, dude. And if I saw you in real life, I'd tell you that to your face without being afraid of you.
And Rob is just one of those examples of an era long gone. He was a, reminder of 2009, 2010, 2011 era YouTube. Somewhat of an inspiration, obviously, into content that even I produce. Somewhat of a person that I thought had a level head on their shoulders, right? Rob could have had an easy thing going. He could have had a simple side gig where he could have worked his job, came home, streamed some video games, chilled out with the community, but instead he decided to nickel and dime them for whatever reason, really. It's not in my place to speculate, to be honest with you. But ultimately, he sold out the last remaining goodwill that he had.
Longtime supporters, many of whom had stood by him through years of controversy, now found themselves withdrawing their support entirely. One of the most significant departures came from Zach the Ranting Guy, formerly known as Zach the Celtics Guy, a longtime follower who had frequently defended Rob during past controversies. In a nearly 30-minute video, Zach laid out his reasons for finally disavowing Rob, citing, in particular, Rob's increasingly hostile treatment of his fanbase, the abrupt and unexplained deletion of his channel, and most damning of all, the doxing of an individual named Violet, with whom Rob had been feuding.
But I can't defend doxing. I really don't care who it is. You don't do that. No matter what the other person did, whether they're right, whether they're wrong, you don't dox people. It isn't right, because that's how you end up getting yourself into some potential legal trouble. Like, this is not acceptable behavior, especially in times like these, okay? Times like these where just technology is a great thing, but it can be very dangerous at the same time.
Zach was also especially frustrated by Rob's decision to place his content behind an $8 monthly paywall, only to then delete the channel entirely just weeks after, leaving paying fans with nothing.
And just me thinking about the fact that Rob just out of nowhere just deletes his entire channel after making it a members-only channel, paying $8 for seeing some of his videos or whatever. It's not even about the money. $8 is nothing, really, in all honesty. I mean, every dollar counts in this day and age, yeah, I understand that, but it's really about the principle. Why would you charge that and then all of a sudden you just get it away? It's like it counted for nothing. Why is it that and then all of your old content from the past is just gone?
To Zach and many others, it felt like a betrayal. Like Rob had scammed his most loyal viewers and walked away without accountability. Zach's message was clear. This wasn't just a creator who was spiraling. This was someone who alienated his audience, violated personal boundaries, and destroyed the community he had spent nearly 2 decades building. And if someone as loyal as Zach was walking away, it was clear something had profoundly changed. Another casualty of Rob's downward spiral was his nearly 2-decade friendship with fellow YouTuber David Hardy. During Rob's fentanyl addiction, he repeatedly asked David for money without explaining why. Once David realized he was likely helping fund the addiction, he quietly pulled away and even made a new anonymous Facebook account to avoid the constant requests.
The straw that broke the camel's back for me was in spring of 2022. Rob very randomly started asking me for money, like lots of money, hundreds of dollars. Now, Rob never used to ask me for money all that much, but for some reason, the spring of 2022, he was just like constantly badgering me to give him money. The last conversation I had with him before I ended things, it was on June 11th of 2022, is my mom's birthday. And me and my brother are trying to take my mom out to a nice lunch and spend some time with her. And Rob's blowing up my phone trying to get me to buy shit off of him. And like he would not let up. So what I ended up doing was I told him that I was going to take a break from Facebook for a little bit. And what I did was I created a new Facebook under a fake name and just stopped using the one that had my real name. And I kind of just hid from him for a bit. And I didn't hear from him for 2 years.
Tension between them had already been growing due to Harley, a friend of David's, whom Rob tried to pursue romantically, even though he was married to Ani at the time. After Harley rejected him, Rob publicly complained about her on YouTube, something David found extremely inappropriate.
Now, Harley, a lot of you know who she is. She's been in a lot of Rob's streams. She's a very close friend of mine, one of my best friends. And Rob has had the hots for her for a long time. He's been trying to get to her pants for years, even when she had boyfriends, and even after he got married to Ani, he's been trying to get with this girl. And he wanted Harley to have a 3-way with him and his wife. And Harley said no. So After that, he started like obsessively going after her. And finally, Harley just had enough and just blocked him and kicked him out of her life. And Rob, being Rob, went apeshit. He went on his channel, and like he usually does, he devotes his entire channel to shitting all over it is that pisses him off.
When Rob later made his YouTube comeback, he announced that he had cut ties with David for supposedly not being there when Rob needed him. David, however, felt distancing himself may have prevented Rob from overdosing, since continuing to give him money would only enable the addiction.
And that's the thing people don't realize, is that me not being in Rob's life may have saved his life. Because think about it. He got a lot of money from me. With me not in his life, he didn't get the money. Less money, less drugs. I may have saved his life by not talking to him. And his fanboys, they don't care. They just care like, oh, Rob hates David, therefore I hate David. It's ridiculous.
Things escalated in late December during Rob's meltdown where he attacked fans and paywalled his content. David submitted a cameo request with a joking jab about Rob and Harley. Rob responded with a video and screenshots meant to embarrass David. But a month later, shortly after deleting his channel, Rob sent David a sexually explicit photo as a redo of the cameo, captioned, "It's the only action you're ever gonna get." It was a shocking escalation even for Rob. David later leaked a censored version of the image to a Silent Rob subreddit, and for many viewers, the incident served as yet another sign of how completely Rob had lost control of his behavior and judgment. What happened next brought a wave of shock and disgust, even from people who had defended Rob through years of drama. In the days leading up to his channel's deletion, Rob claimed that someone had gone onto his brother's Facebook page and created a violent, graphic, AI-generated image of his nephew Owen. He described the image as disturbing and insisted it was made specifically to torment him.
Asa actually, today, got on my brother's Facebook page, and I know it's him because I had my friend run the IP on the name. So he got on my brother's page and got a picture of my nephew and blew my nephew's head off with a picture. So on that one, and also like drew like dicks and stuff on my stepchildren. So that's Asa for you.
At first, he blamed Asa Lieri, saying Asa had finally crossed the line. Later, in a separate rant, he shifted the accusation to Violet, one of his longtime detractors. Neither claim had any evidence behind it, but Rob treated the story as unquestionable truth. This allegation became the spark he used to justify what came next. With this supposed attack on his family fresh in his mind and central to his justification, Rob began creating multiple burner YouTube accounts. Through these accounts, he uploaded a barrage of disturbing videos targeting Asa Lieri, Violet, and most shockingly, Asa's autistic daughter, someone Rob had previously vowed never to involve in online drama. In one early upload, Rob appeared wearing what looked like a hospital gown, filming himself in a room resembling a patient ward. Smirking into the camera, he announced that he was going to become a menace and do back what was done to him.
I thought there were rules, but a lot of people just pretty much do whatever they want on here now, I guess, so you guys are going to see me be a true menace, okay, and have some fun on here. And I think this is actually the first time I've ever had any fun on here. So, just prepare. And here it is, Asa playing the victim, crying about it. I didn't see you crying or saying anything when they were taking pictures of my nephew and mutilating him. Okay, and making weird sexual fucking pictures of him, or doing any of the fucking shit that happened with my fucking nephew. I didn't hear Asa say shit. I'm gonna be playing a game called Would You Rather, about where would I rather have sex with horrible, grotesque things or Asa's wife. Here's a hint, the horrible, grotesque things are always gonna win.
One burner channel was named with a cruel reference to Asa's daughter's condition, and its profile photo was an offensive AI-generated caricature resembling her. Viewers, supporters, and critics alike were horrified. Rob also reignited his feud with Violet, accusing her of orchestrating harassment against his family, again tracing back to the AI image claim. One burner account even teased a final stream, described as a suicide broadcast that would cost $20 to watch, with proceeds directed to his Cash App.
And I gotta thank Muda for finally putting me in a video. And it looks like he finally put me in one, so I appreciate it, bro. I didn't watch it yet. I seen the picture that he chose for the art for the video, and apparently, you know, my boss is a fan of yours too, dude. So I guess he's seen the video, and coupled with the you know, the emails, I guess, that, you know, Violet sent to them and stuff like that. I'll probably have some extended time to, you know, stream, I guess. So I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I'm gonna stream tomorrow, and you guys should be there. Now, keep in mind that, you know, $40 worth of this drug, you'll die off of like 50 cents worth, so, you know, it's fucking more than enough for anything I'm gonna fucking do with it, that's for damn sure. Here's what I'm gonna fucking do. Since this is probably gonna be the last stream I ever do, and I'm making it extra special, it's not gonna just be what you guys think it is, it's gonna be a lot more to it, and, you know, good send-off type situation. And I want it to be legit, so I am going to charge money for this. You know, bitch and moan all you want, I suppose. I don't really care. So it's going to be $20, and the Cash App is going to be in the description.
This generated immediate concern, but the stream thankfully never happened. Eventually, Rob uploaded what seemed like his final statement, a video titled "Goodbye Guys," posted on a burner channel ominously named RIP 86-25. Despite its simple title, the tone was bleak and aggressive. Rob thanked a handful of people who had reached out, insisted the public didn't understand the full story, and issued a vague threat toward Violet, warning that things will get ugly if she pushed him further.
This also is to address Violet Anderson. Listen, if you keep contacting my family, especially my mom, who this fucking transvestite has brought to tears on a couple occasions now from getting contacted by him, I'm gonna do something to you that you're not gonna be able to false flag and bring down, and it's gonna get ugly, dude. So this is your one and only warning to get the fuck away from my family, dude. That has absolutely nothing to do with anything in your warped fucking mind.
He also doubled down on his attacks on Asa, claiming he felt no remorse because, in his mind, Asa had attacked his family first.
Yeah, I'm not perfect either, and I apologize for some stuff that I've done as well. As far as Asa goes, Asa was part of the entire thing, attacking me and didn't care, attacking my wife and my family members either. So yeah, I'm really not too upset about anything I said about Asa or his family, dude.
He ended the video by lamenting the lack of support he'd received and declaring that YouTube held no future for him after everything he'd endured. Then he vanished again into total silence. But that silence didn't last long. Immediately after Goodbye Guys went live, Kiwi Farms users dug into Rob's central claim, the AI-generated image of his nephew. And what they uncovered turned the entire situation upside down. According to Rob, this disturbing image showed his nephew Owen, and it had been posted to his brother's Facebook page. But when users examined the image more carefully, alongside public photos, they realized the child in the AI picture wasn't Rob's nephew at all. It was one of Ani's children from a previous relationship, unmistakably identifiable from a public banner photo on Ani's Facebook page. This raised several disturbing questions all at once. Why had Rob claimed it was his nephew? Why had he pointed the finger at both Asa and Violet without evidence? And if he was lying, who actually made the image? Some speculated that Rob himself might have generated the picture, a possibility made even more troubling given how aggressively he weaponized the story. If true, it would mean Rob fabricated an atrocity involving a child merely to justify attacking people he already disliked. Whether or not he created the image, the lie was undeniable. And for many, that was the breaking point. In late February, Rob quietly resurfaced on Twitch under the name Filler Moffup for an unarchived hour-long stream with his wife Ani. Instead of the gaming or rants fans were hoping for, the stream was a casual conversation about his favorite movies and music, framed as an escape from YouTube's toxicity. On March 1st, he went live again, this time showing his Nintendo Switch collection and delving deeper into why he deleted his channel, mostly blaming the YouTube algorithm for never promoting his videos.
Yeah, guys, I mean, it was a hard decision to come to, dude, but it was just to the point where, like, I putting any time or effort into any of these videos, it was just a waste of time, dude. I mean, it was not getting seen. I was completely just pulverized into this 19K corner, and it was hard to put any time or effort into videos, dude. They were not getting seen.
While there was some truth to that, he ignored the reality that his erratic, months-long breaks made his content nearly impossible for the algorithm to recommend. He also floated the idea of finally doing a stand-up comedy routine at a local venue with Ani filming, a promise he's teased for years without delivering, and one he ultimately never followed through on this time either.
I really would like to have like a series of videos chronicling me leading up to the point where I'm going to finally do my first stand-up at like an open mic night. So like maybe a series of like 2 weeks or something. We do them every day and we finally do an open mic night. And I finish it off with failure and booze. Get off the stage.
In many ways, it felt like Rob hadn't changed at all. By April, things began to completely go off the rails. After the March 1st Twitch stream, Rob largely went silent for about a month, only to return with a barrage of streams that shocked even his longtime viewers. The catalyst? According to Rob, about a week after that March stream, his wife Ani had left him. He claimed that one day he came from work to find her gone.
And I get home from work and she's gone. She fucking took off. And I still have no idea where she's at. And in 2 weeks, she hasn't had the audacity to call me or anything. Not nothing, dude. I've called her. She like put like a fake program on her phone to like act like her phone's been disconnected or some shit.
What he did say was that she took several belongings with her, including the Animal Crossing Lego sets that fans sometimes spotted in the background of his streams. From there, April became a month-long tirade against Ani. Rob leveled a laundry list of accusations, some of which left viewers questioning why he was sharing them publicly at all. First, he alleged she was a chronic cheater, saying he'd caught her messaging other men multiple times and even tracked her via phone location data to another man's house while he was at work.
It's been a sticking point in our relationship since I've been with her, dude. Like, she's very easy to like get to talking to these dudes and stuff on TikTok. And one time I caught her talking to a fucking deaf guy, dude. And this was like early in our relationship, dude, which, I should have just dumped her then at that point, honestly. So I got a hold of this dude's number, I'm calling him, and he answers the phone. He must have fucked the vibration or something because he didn't hear it. And I'm just like, are you cheating on me with a retarded person? Like, what the fuck's going on here? No, it's fucking deaf guy, dude.
I caught her talking to like a 400-pound black guy. Okay, this guy, his name's Fontaine. I call him Fondue. You probably heard me mention him a couple times. He's like one of those pull your gut up so you can get to the dick kind of people. Alright? I caught her talking to like a deaf guy. This dude that she fucking knew down in Chicago. Like it was like a trans person or something I caught her talking to one time. A bunch of people off TikTok. I mean, she just does it all the time, dude. So it was around Valentine's Day last year. I sent her like a Valentine's Day gift. I was at work. It was a DoorDash gift. She's not answering the phone. We're on like a family plan, so there's like GPS on the phones. And I just happened to glance at the GPS, and she's off at some apartment complex that I've never seen before. And I caught her on that. So I call her up. I'm like, where are you at? Oh, I'm at the house. No, bitch. Try again. Where are you at? Caught her red-handed with that shit.
Next, he criticized her hygiene in excruciating detail, going so far as to share an extremely personal and medical-related gross-out story involving a woman's hygiene product and a doctor's visit to have it removed.
My dad told me a story. I guess Ani's breath was so bad in the car one time that her breath almost broke the windows in the car, he said. He's like, I had to roll down the windows. It was almost broke the fucking windows. It was so fucking bad. Because Ani does not brush her teeth, guys. She doesn't brush her teeth. Literally does not brush her teeth at all, ever. When she would, it would bleed so bad it would like spray out like there was blood on the mirror when she would brush her teeth.
There would be 2-week intervals of time where she would not shower or bathe or anything, dude. And then, you know, she'd get mad at me that I want to have sex with her. I'm like, bitch, you smell like a fucking goddamn busted sewer pipe, dude. Like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You know what I mean? And it was like, what is going on here?
I'd be having sex with her, and like there would be this smell. It was nasty. Like there's something going on. And you know, and at first it was just like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have been in this situation where maybe a girl's not too fresh or something like that, but this was different, dude. Like it was bad. I was like pulling the e-brake on that shit. I'm like, babe, you got something going on. You need to do. And she was trying to take care of it and douche and all this other stuff. It didn't work. Something was going on, and she was looking bad. You know what I mean? Like something was going on with her. And I forced her to go to the doctor or the emergency room. I'm like, babe, I feel something's going on with you. I forced her into the car. She didn't want to go. Oh, no. Made her get in the car. Made her go. And I get her there, and they're gonna check her out. And they even told me, they're like, well, I can check you out now, or we can get you in like later on at your family doctor, but it wouldn't probably be till Friday and blah 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 blah. I was like, no, you need to check her out now. Something's going on. Well, I'm glad I did, because turns out she had a tampon stuck way up inside of her, and she was on the verge of having sepsis. As she lasted like another couple days, she would have died. Because I guess this is a common problem. I don't understand how a woman can possibly forget that a tampon is there, but I guess this happens. But people die from it, and she would have probably been dead within a couple more days. So had I not made her do that, she would have died. Even the nurse came up to me and was just like, it's really good that you brought her in, dude. She was in a bad state.
Many viewers called this a clear case of oversharing, with some noting it could fall under public disclosure of private facts. While it could have landed Rob in legal trouble, Ani seemingly lacked the interest, knowledge, or resources to take action. Rob also attacked her history as a mother. Fans already knew Ani had 3 children, but Rob revealed that shortly after they met, her kids were forcibly removed from her custody due to neglect.
She kind of grew up in a stunted religious environment and stuff and shit like that. And when I first met her, she had her kids taken away because she does not have the mental fucking capacity to take care of her kids by herself in any way, shape, or form. She can barely even dress herself, dude. Her parents actually have her kids in this town called Ironwood, Michigan, which is 12 hours away. So this is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. So from here to there is 12 hours straight. 12 hours there, 12 hours back. It's so desolate up in the fucking boonies and shit. Like, you can't even really take a plane up there.
She's had her kids forcibly removed away from her because she can't handle being a parent. She can't handle being with her kids. Even now, she's not with her kids. All I heard through 8 years of fucking being with her is, I want to be with my kids, I want to be with my kids. Now she could be, no, she's still not with her kids. She had her parents forcibly removed her kids from her because of mistreatment of her kids. When I first started dating her, she lived in Bell Fountain, she had her 3 kids, and we were sitting on the porch, and she was ignoring her kids, and all of a sudden her middle child was dragging the baby by the head through the front door because she wanted to like bring the baby out to the front porch, and this kid is dragging the baby by the head through the fucking porch, and Ani's just sitting there smoking an Eagle fucking cigarette, not giving a fuck, dude. And I'm literally, at this time, this is the second date we ever had, and I had to run over and grab the baby as it's falling out the door, and she's just fucking sitting there smoking an Eagle cigarette, not giving a fuck, dude. So within 2 months of us dating, her parents had to come down from Michigan and forcibly remove her kids from her care because of the dude she was with kept beating on her and them all the time. And CPS was involved all the time, so her parents had to come 12 hours away and take the kids away by force, and the only time she got to see them is when I brought her up 12 hours away for her to visit her kids.
Her parents in Michigan now care for them, and Rob claimed she is legally obligated to pay child support. For many fans, this revelation was damning, not only for Ani, but for Rob himself. They questioned why he would ever marry someone with that history, especially given his own pattern of controversial and impulsive behavior. Even after unloading all of this, the reaction from viewers was split. Some sympathized with Rob's situation, but many felt that if the cheating allegations were true, he should have ended the marriage long before. Others pointed out that Ani had never been well received on his streams anyway. Many either tuned out when she appeared or tolerated her presence purely out of support for Rob. This all came to a head on April 25th when Rob went live for nearly 4 hours, splitting his time between another heated tirade against Ani and a casual playthrough of Mega Man. During the stream, he revealed that Ani was staying with some friends, presumably out of state, and had made it clear she wanted to remain separated. Rob, visibly bitter, dropped a bombshell. He was selling his house.
Like I said, she can do whatever she wants. I'm moving on. I'm moving. So this is going to be probably the last Mega Mania we're doing in this house. I'm moving. I'm not going to be here. So she can go do her own little thing. I'm not going to be here. I've been trying to get a hold of her to tell her I'm moving, that she needs to take one of these cats. She doesn't want to talk to me. That she wants to be fucking shady because she's playing both sides and stuff. Now I'm not going to tell her where I'm moving and what's going on, even if she calls me. The house is in my name. I'm selling the house. She can kiss my ass. And that's that.
This was the same property he had purchased in 2018 when he first married Ani. He claimed he didn't see the point in living there anymore, maybe because it carried too many bad memories. In that regard, it almost made sense, until you remembered how much Rob had previously bragged about his mortgage. In older streams back before his YouTube channel was deleted, Rob would boast about having a wife and a home, framing himself as a winner in life, while dismissing his detractors as losers with nothing going for them. Now, just a few months later, the picture couldn't have looked more different. His marriage had collapsed, and soon the house he had once flaunted as a symbol of success would be gone too. For many viewers, this moment marked a visible turning point. Rob's life was no longer just turbulent, it was unraveling in real time. On June 3rd, Rob went live again on Twitch, confirming what many had speculated. He had sold his house. He claimed he made a good chunk of money from the sale and even showed off his Nintendo Switch collection before spending most of the stream casually chatting about movies. But it didn't take viewers long to notice the obvious. Rob was back in his old bedroom from his 2008-era videos. He wasn't in some new chapter of life. He was back living at his parents' house. A few days later, he returned with another stream, this time showing off a new purchase, a Steam Deck. But the casual vibe didn't last. Rob fell back into tearing into Ani once again, accusing her of falling behind on child support payments to her parents, who still had custody of her children.
And like I said, she had to pay child support for 3 children. How many mothers do you know that had to pay child support on all 3 of their kids? To her parents, no less. Okay, and the fact that she hasn't been working lately and she hasn't been paying her child support, she was already up to 10 grand or something, way past due on her child support, because she doesn't just do it, dude. She doesn't take care of her kids. She doesn't do what she needs to do. Okay, so she can sit here on her little high horse and play around and shit, and play her little fucking games, because she wants, she found some dumbass that's gonna fucking let her sit around on her lazy ass all fucking day and not work and not do anything. Go ahead. Child support's ticking up. I mean, that doesn't just stop because you decide you don't want to work anymore.
He also mocked her for allegedly jumping into a new relationship right after leaving him, ridiculing the appearance of the new boyfriend throughout the stream.
Have you seen the guy that she's been talking to? Like, literally, dude, he looks like when you're making a character in a video game in the character creation and you try to make the face as fucked up and ugly as possible. That's what this guy looks like, dude. Literally, she's sitting there next to him in a picture. Here's it. You know what I mean? Literally, dude.
Then, near the end of that broadcast, the chat brought up an old rumor that Rob had been accused of stealing from a local game store. At first, he laughed it off with his usual sarcasm, making fun of the idea and dismissing it outright. But things shifted when someone specifically mentioned a Google review tied to the accusation.
I think the robbing game store thing came from a Google review. Yeah, you guys can't believe anything that fucking pops up on any of that shit, guy. That's retarded. Not the case, guys. I'm doing well. I'm promoted at my job. Sold my house. Got some money out of it.
There's no criminal record that you can look into my shit. There's no criminal record. Yeah, no.
Rob's demeanor noticeably changed. He grew uncomfortable, stumbled over his words, and soon cut the stream short. That review, which was quickly dug up by Kiwi Farms users before it mysteriously disappeared, was from Huber Music and Video. A customer review under the name Rue, likely one of Rob's burner accounts, complained about overpriced DVDs and scratched discs. The store's owner replied directly, calling Rob out by his full name, accusing him of stealing despite being a longtime customer, and warning that if it happened again, the police would be involved. This wasn't just speculation either. In a 2021 stream, Rob and Ani did a mystery box unboxing from Second and Charles, opening up a stack of random CDs and movies. Rob dismissed the haul as junk, but then casually mentioned he had a guy down the street who bought this kind of stuff from him.
For Easter. Dude, this is all the shit they were gonna throw away. This is garbage. They were gonna throw this away and we bought it. 50 DVDs and Blu-rays in here. Now, we are well aware that's probably gonna be a bunch of junk.
Yeah.
Okay.
We won't be surprised.
But luckily, we have a shop down the street from us
that we can resell.
That we can just resell this stuff. You know, it's just kind of fun to see if we get anything good.
That guy was Huber Music and Video. At this stage, most people had already written Rob off after months of abhorrent behavior, attacking his own fans, lashing out on Facebook, and going after Ace's family in cruel ways. The Huber Music and Video revelation wasn't the final straw so much as it was another ugly confirmation. Viewers weren't surprised that Rob had sunk lower. They were just shocked at how far he was willing to go. Resorting to stealing from a store he'd supported for years underscored just how morally bankrupt he had become. On June 16th, Rob returned to Twitch with some sad news. He revealed that his mother had been hospitalized with severe liver issues, likely cirrhosis, and that doctors had told the family she didn't have much time left.
If you guys read the title of the stream, that is the truth. My mom is just not going to make it. And I don't really know how to process the information that's been recently delivered to me.
This was not entirely unexpected, as Rob had mentioned in earlier streams that her health had been deteriorating, but it was still a heavy moment. Rob didn't dwell on it long, instead shifting to lighter topics, talking about a recent trip to Kings Island in Ohio with longtime fan Joe Savage, who had wanted to cheer him up during such an emotionally difficult period. Rob also spent part of the stream showing off his Nintendo Switch collection, making it clear he was broadcasting mostly to keep his mind occupied. A week later, on June 23rd, Rob streamed again and confirmed the inevitable. His mother had passed away. He played a bit of Mega Man during the broadcast, using the routine of gaming to steady himself while sharing the news with his audience. Despite the months of overwhelming controversy that led to most of his fan base turning away from him, viewers overwhelmingly offered condolences in the chat. For a brief moment, people set aside the anger, the chaos, and the moral exhaustion of Rob's recent behavior to acknowledge a universal truth. Losing a parent is devastating. And for the first time in a long while, empathy came through. It didn't erase or redeem everything Rob had done up to this point, not even close. But most people could at least feel for him in this moment of grief. Some viewers even went to his mother's online obituary and left kind words. They wrote that they never knew her personally, but they had enjoyed Rob's videos for many years and remembered how fondly he had spoken of his mom. It was a rare, quiet pause in a saga otherwise defined by conflict, frustration, and self-destruction. Through the end of June and throughout July, Rob began streaming somewhat regularly again, mostly playing through various retro games. In some ways, it felt like a small return to form, a glimpse of the creator people once followed for years. But it was also unmistakably bittersweet. Rob had lost the overwhelming majority of his audience, and his Twitch streams averaged around 15 viewers. A portion of those weren't even supporters. They were people watching out of morbid curiosity, waiting to see what questionable decision Rob might make next. He had burned too many bridges, pushed away too many loyal fans, and alienated too many casual viewers. A lot of his former audience didn't even realize he was streaming again, especially under the new Silent Rob Returns username. After July, Rob fell silent once more. A wave of strange rumors began circulating, fueled by a suspicious account claiming to be a woman Rob had briefly dated in April after Ani left. The account posted wild allegations, saying Rob now worked at an Arby's, that he'd had a serious falling out with his father, and that his situation was worse than anyone realized. None of it could be verified, but the rumors spread because, frankly, people had come to expect the unexpected from Rob. Finally, on September 24th, Rob broke his silence with an extremely brief Twitch stream, less than 15 minutes, just to address the speculation. He explained that he hadn't been feeling well, was dealing with high blood pressure, and had recently started medication for it. He denied the foreclosure rumors, confirming that he did sell the house and that, because he and Ani were still legally married, they split the proceeds as required by Ohio law.
But people have been asking friends of mine and trying to fucking get a hold of me and, talking about these rumors. So I'm gonna lay some stuff out for you guys real quick. First of all, with my house was not foreclosed on. I sold my house. I got a pretty nice, tidy profit from my house, actually. I did have to split it with Ani. Legally in the state of Ohio, like whenever you sell a house and you're married, you gotta split it with the other person. So I got like $40,000, and so me and Ani both got like it was $15,000. I got $15,000 and she got $15,000. So it was like $30,000 in all, but we had to split it.
He also clarified that his relationship with his dad was fine, and he was still living at his parents' house, and that he was simply trying to save money. Rob ended by saying he missed his mother deeply and hadn't been in a good place mentally since her passing. And just like that, the stream ended. Quiet, abrupt, and without much indication of what would come next. Over the next several days, Rob streamed on Twitch sporadically, usually for less than 10 minutes at a time, and the streams were plagued with awful audio quality. Most of them took place either while he was at work or while he was driving, something that directly violates Twitch's terms of service. In one of these short broadcasts, he stopped by an Ohio shop called Vax and Videos, a nostalgic callback to his earlier video days when he would occasionally visit the store to browse retro games. It was one of the few moments that resembled his old content. Rob even bought a Nintendo Switch game to add to his collection. But the tone shifted toward the end of that stream when Rob casually mentioned that he was now dating a 19-year-old.
I'm supposed to go hang out with that girl later. It's weird. She's only 19, dude, so I feel like an old man dealing with this girl because I'm not used to dating girls that are like significantly younger than me.
Given that Rob was nearly 40, the announcement immediately raised eyebrows. Viewers speculated that he was hiding much of his impulsive and erratic online behavior from her, and that she likely had no idea who Rob really was or what kind of drama surrounded him. A few days later, Rob introduced his new girlfriend on stream. Like before, the broadcast lasted only about 5 minutes and the audio quality was terrible. He mentioned he was teaching her how to drive, and later in the stream, she was shown behind the wheel while Rob gave directions. Detractors quickly mocked her appearance and noting a resemblance to Jack Black. A few days after that, on October 11th, Rob streamed again, this time for around 30 minutes. It was mostly uneventful, aside from him showcasing some AI-generated music he had made with his girlfriend. Then, on November 1st, Rob went live again, but this time the stream veered immediately into chaos. He claimed that his Nintendo Switch 2 and several of his games had been stolen at a rest stop.
I had my Switch and all my games were taken from me because I'd had them in a bag. I was taking them over to my girl's house, and I stopped at a rest stop and went and used the bathroom, and all my shit was taken out of my car. So all my shit's gone.
Some viewers doubted the story, speculating that he may have relapsed and sold his belongings to fuel an addiction, but there was no evidence to support that. Rob also claimed someone had posted a cruel, inflammatory message on his mother's online obituary. That too sparked speculation, as some viewers wondered if Rob might have fabricated something like that to garner sympathy. At this point, viewers were running dangerously low on goodwill. But the most shocking claim came when Rob stated he had to put his girlfriend in jail, describing her as unstable but offering almost no details. He read from a legal document related to the incident, which only fueled more speculation.
I had to put that girl in the jail, dude. the girl that I was teaching to drive, I had to put her in jail. This is a thing I got from the courthouse with that. Victim notification regarding proceedings. You are a complainant victim of the above referenced case following occurred on the arraignment hearing, October 14th. She has a $15,000 cash surety bond. A temporary protection order was not issued. And preliminary pretrial hearing set for October 21st. This stuff already happened. There's a restitution hearing I'm supposed to go to.
Was he exaggerating, lying, or for once telling the truth? It didn't take long for viewers, especially his detractors, to find out. They identified the woman as Justine, and public records showed she had been arrested on October 12th, just one day after the stream where Rob showcased their AI music. She was charged with theft without consent, tampering with evidence, and misuse of a credit card. A viewer eventually obtained the police report, which detailed the following. Rob had rented a room for himself and Justine at a Motel 6 because he couldn't bring her to his father's house. Shortly after they arrived, while Rob was in the bathroom, Justine reportedly took Rob's wallet from his pants and fled the room. Rob chased after her and called the police. Officers found Justine locked inside the bathroom of a nearby gas station, where she was detained. She claimed Rob had allowed her to use his cards because her benefits wouldn't be available until later in the month, but officers found his wallet and credit cards discarded in a trash can. She was arrested for theft and tampering with evidence. Additional cards belonging to Rob were found in her pockets, and she was transferred to the local police department for questioning. She claimed she had panicked and thrown the items away because she was afraid Rob would hurt her. The only item not recovered was Rob's social security card. She told officers she was attempting to return to a sober living facility in Xenia. The incident confirmed that, for once, Rob hadn't fabricated the drama. But it also signaled just how chaotic and unstable his life had become, and how far removed everything now was from the simple retro gaming content he once made. And with that, we're fully caught up with the Silent Rob saga of 2025. At least for now. Unless something major happens in December, this is where the story currently stands. After Rob's decision to delete his own YouTube channel and publicly melt down on his fanbase, the past year has been a steady downward spiral. He inflicted irreversible damage on his reputation, alienated the audience that supported him for over a decade, and destroyed many of the relationships that once anchored his life. In the span of months, he lost his marriage, his house, and, through no fault of his own, his mother. If there's any lesson viewers have drawn from this, it's how quickly a life can unravel when addiction and untreated personal issues take hold. Many longtime followers believe that substance abuse fundamentally changed Rob and warped his behavior in ways that he never recovered from. People can debate the specifics, but the trajectory is hard to deny. There remains a faint hope among some that Rob will eventually stabilize, seek real help, or find some path back to himself. But most recognize that the damage, both to his reputation and likely to his own mental and emotional well-being, may be too deep for a full recovery. At this point, the Silent Rob saga stands less as internet drama and more as a cautionary tale of what happens when someone lets their worst impulses go unchecked until there's nothing left to burn but what they once cared about most.